TIFU, by not wearing the rubber bands on my braces to further straighten my teeth. I spent $4,000 in total, over the course of 2 years, for braces because my insurance didn't cover it. I was supposed to be wearing these tough rubber bands for several months to fix the little overbite I have. I struggle with depression and mental health, and I am just also an undisciplined lazy fuck, so I didn't wear them. Which was so stupid because I just had to put them on and do nothing, but they felt irritating. I literally just got my braces removed and basically fucking wasted $4,000. My teeth could have looked even better. Words cannot describe how angry and disappointed I am. I feel so angry and upset with myself. I am so fucking done. Too long did not read. Wasted $4,000 by not wearing the rubber bands my dentist told me to, and I didn't get the full potential for my teeth. Also, wear your retainer. I wasn't able to, and my teeth aren't as straight as P0 stone braces. I had to get my braces off early because I was having surgery. I still have a little bit of an overbite. The amount that this has affected my life? Zero. In fact, I get compliments about how lovely and straight my teeth are. I promise, it's okay. Having picture-perfect teeth is not anything anyone will ever expect from you, and I promise that if you let this go, and move on, a year from now you will laugh at how much you cared. I promise it was still worth the money to straighten your teeth. Hang in there, friend. This is the depression talking. You should look into strategies to divert yourself from negative self-talk. Lots of people don't wear their bands. I'm 40 and I don't have depression, and I barely remember half the time. You can't be mad at yourself for something so silly. You just went through 2 years of hell and have great teeth now. Give yourself a break. Stop looking at the negatives. Look at the vast improvement that has happened. Don't let perfect be the enemy of great. Both of my kids have had traditional braces and just won't wear the bands. Aww. Every visit, the dentist asked, "Are you wearing the bands?" Nope. And then he'd say, "Well, you really need to be wearing those bands." Yeah, they know. They just won't do it. So this week they are both getting their braces off. Their teeth are straight, but yes, they both still have overbites. I'm done. Not my problem anymore. If it bothers them, they can pay the money to do it all over again. My daughter's had her braces for 4 years now. Due to other issues they refused to deal with in a timely manner, and my son's had his for 3. Both of them were only supposed to take 2 years. Today I fucked up by drunkenly confessing an insecurity to my fiance. I, 28 female, was just recently engaged to my amazing fiance, 30 male, of 6 years. I want to say my fiance has helped me out of very toxic family situation, into therapy, back in graduate school, and has been very open as I have been rebuilding myself away from family. It has been rough, but my fiance has been amazing and kind through it all. In the 6 years of us being together, these past 2 years have been different. His work takes a lot of his time. Even sometimes his weekends. He hates it. He always tells me how much he wishes he could be home with me and our dogs. But his job pays very well, and we were able to afford a very nice first home. It was my dream house, and my fiance bought it without even looking at it. He just knew I loved it and trusted me. He is amazing. He wants to finish paying off our mortgage and then finding a less stressful job once we have equity. I do contribute to the mortgage as well and always add my extra savings to paying off the mortgage. Back to his work. It's a lot. But I do my best to not show that it gets to me too. I always text him asking what I can do to help him relax at home. I always try my best to make sure he can instantly relax when he comes home. But inside I feel so insecure. At one point he was working all week, and the weekends we were both traveling to visit longtime friends and haven't really had a chance to just sit with each other for a month almost. I can admit at one point I thought maybe he was getting so lonely that he could stray. Then that thought took off into worse thoughts. I hated how it snowballed and then continued. I didn't show it, talk about it, or even disclosed in any close friends. Because I knew this thought was so fucking ridiculous. But it was there and it was hurting me. I will say I have not had this thought recently. Since our engagement, my fiancé has made sure to get off work at more reasonable time. He has been planning dates, spoiling me, and cooking dinner all the time. He has been so blissfully happy until his work event. We both got super drunk as people were giving us shots to celebrate. On the drive back he was just gushing about me, hyping me up and telling me how beautiful I was all night. I then blurted out, "It makes me so happy to hear you say this. I thought you could be cheating at work for how long you're gone." I know the car didn't stop, but it felt like it did in that moment. Guys, his face when he looked over at me to see if he could scope if I was serious. I swear, we must have both sober up when those words left my mouth. I'm sure our Uber driver even side-eyed me. I tried to laugh and backtrack, saying I wasn't serious or it was a bad joke. He then laughed a little and said it was indeed a very poor joke, and held my hand tight. The next day, he sat next to me on the couch and asked if the comment I made yesterday was serious. I told him, "One time I thought, but I know this is an insecurity I need to work on." I told him flat out he has given me no reason to believe this. I am just working on this and will need to bring it up in my next session. Now my fiance comes home from work right on time. No more working late. He will work home instead. I know some of his coworkers want him back in office for more efficiency, but he said he is getting the same amount done home too. I'm afraid he is putting his career over an insecurity that truly makes no sense. I keep telling him I'm fine, but he keeps telling me this is something he wants to do and just misses being home. Today I fucked up by telling my fiance about my weird insecurity. TLR. My fiance works long hours at work, causing me to be insecure about our relationship. I drunkenly confess about being insecure. My fiance then starts working more remotely, causing some delays in projects at his job. Edit. Thank you so much for all the advice and suggestions. I wanted to help clarify a few things about our relationship. When we first started to date, we were both working part-time. As he decided to go back for a higher education, I agreed to find a more paying full-time position to take on the bills while he was in school. It was rough in the beginning living paycheck to paycheck in studio apartments, but we did it. He graduated top of his class and I couldn't have been prouder of him. I am in therapy. It was the first thing my fiance and I discussed after breaking communication with my family. My family was awful and it took me a long time to see it and understand the damage it has done to my mental health. I take 100% accountability that it was a hurtful thing to still say, but I do wish I brought it up sooner, as most of the comments have said. I knew these thoughts were irrational and not true. I was mostly worried about hurting him. I care and love him as far beyond a mortal explanation. I knew if I told him, he would start feeling guilty about working late hours or stop. I will say he has been more happier these past few days working remotely after hours. Thank you everyone again. I did fuck up for not speaking up sooner. I did fuck up for making this an awkward scene in an Uber car. I did fuck up for hurting him in that moment. But happy I know I didn't fuck up this relationship. He wants you to feel secure and loved. I doubt he's judging you from what you have said. You were right to be honest to him and he showed you that, even though he knows he won't cheat, your peace of mind means a lot to him. You gave him a gift, you showed vulnerability and told him what you were feeling. He has given you a gift changing to make your life together better. The job should always be secondary. Now if you have a time machine so I can tell my younger self that, I'd appreciate it. Good luck, you too. Girl. You told your partner, best friend, and future husband about something that was bothering you and made you feel insecure. However illogical it may be, it's valid. And he changed his schedule to make you feel better because he loves and cares about you. You two are gonna be fine. Congratulations on finding your person. You guys are fine. It's nice to not read a completely bonkers or toxic or childish post about a relationship law. You have a healthy relationship op. It sounds like both of you communicated and compromised to work it out. I don't think there's much to worry about. And just as you were honest and sincere about your concerns, trust that he will do the same if he had any. Congrats on the engagement, by the way. While I do agree with most of what's being said, I do think people are letting her off really easy. It may have just been poor wording, but she basically accused this dude of cheating when there was no reason to do so. Obviously not relationship ending, but I'd feel a bit hurt if I was this guy. Imagine doing all this for someone and they don't reciprocate it and even suspect and resent you. What even? Today I fucked up and lost my best friend of over 11 years. Today I fucked up and lost my best friend of over 11 years. Well, not today exactly, it was actually 11 months ago now, but boy howdy is it hitting me hard lately. We used to talk almost every day, voice calls for the entire evening, and playing games until the wee hours of the morning. We met back in 2012, playing World of Warcraft, and basically lived out our 20s as best friends. I don't know that I trusted any non-family member as much as I trust that guy. I still see him as a little brother. This only amounts to making it hurt all the more due to the loss. We'll call him C. C actually, back in 2013 introduced me to my now wife, D. At one point they had a thing, but it didn't work out. D and I continued talking for years, when back in 2017, we decided to actually seriously date, and got married in 2018. C. We were going to play Baldur's Gate 3 last year, and C. created a character that had D's name. This was a bit of a shock to me, and made me feel uncomfortable. I didn't really know how to handle the situation, so I tried to ask him about it. He explained that the character had been a character he used many times in D&D campaigns, and that the name was actually quite common and even recommended in various lists of names for that race. I was a total jerk, didn't listen, and immediately got defensive. He as well got defensive, but I feel like his defensiveness was infinitely more reasonable. This resulted in roughly a 2-3 hour argument. One of the final things he said to me, "We can't be friends if you don't think I trust you and your wife." To which, in my complete and total asshat nature said, "I don't know how you regard us. That's up to you." I initially thought this entire exchange would be written off, and it wasn't until days later I realized that I had done something highly disrespectful, rude, and hurtful. Those words have since been burned into my head. 11 months go by. I've tried to make new, gaming buddies, but it just hasn't been the same. C and I liked basically all the same genres, save for a few. We were almost always ready and excited to play the same games. We had the same humor, and laughed at almost all the same things. Haven't found that connection again, fairly certain it's cause we partially grew up together. When we first met, C was still in high school, now he's graduated college and we're both working full-time jobs. And it just sucks. I ruined such a critical and important friendship in my life because I wanted to be a pompous asshat, excuse the language. I've found myself thinking about C a lot these last few weeks, as we're nearing a year since we last spoke. I'm pretty sure he's blocked me on almost every platform. I tried to reach out via Discord, since it still shows us as friends there. I tried to apologize, but I can only assume he hasn't read it. Or maybe he hasn't wanted to read it, to be fair. As we near the anniversary of losing my best friend, I can't help but find depression sinking in, and reminiscing about the good times. And at the end of it all, I really just wish I could apologize to him. I could understand not being friends again. I could understand not even talking again. But dang, I wish I could just tell C how sorry I am. I really needed to get this off my chest, as it has been breaking me. Especially these last 2 weeks. Especially since last week was his birthday. I appreciate all of your time. Please be good to your friends, especially if they've been good to you. Give them the benefit of the doubt, hear them out, trust them, give them your faith. It's so hard to replace quality friendships as an adult, especially in today's geopolitical climate. Edit number 1. My wife's name isn't super common. It's a 3-syllable name, which she commonly shortens with a very specific spelling. The friend used the exact shortened version with the exact spelling. Edit number 2. The friend said that he started using the name for a D&D character in 2018. Edit number 3. I have discussed D&D with C many times previously, as he sparked my interest in it. This name had never come up before. Seeing C use the name in Baldur's Gate 3 was the very first time I had ever seen him use the name. Edit number 4. D is happy to not see C again because she believes that we both bring out the worst in each other. Monies? Edit number 5. I live in OK, he lives in Texas. It's about a 3-hour drive, but he had plans to move to UT last November. I do not know if he ever did, as this was after we stopped talking. Edit number 6. C used to visit D and I twice a year, and stay with us for a week at a time. D does not want C to visit anymore even if we do reconcile. Update number 1. I greatly and deeply appreciate all the comments. I really thought this post would go under the radar. But I really appreciate the words of encouragement and guidance. Update number 2, and I holistically agree. I was blaming myself out of missing the friendship, which I shouldn't do. He definitely needs to own the blame for what he did in this situation. Too long did not read. Friend of 11 years used my wife's name, likeness in Baldur's Gate 3. We fought. Ruined friendship. Am slightly at fault. Am big sad. I don't quite understand how the last thing you said to him was disrespectful. I understand everything else, just not this last sentence that apparently had a big impact. Respect, huh? Naming his character after your wife, and then being ultra defensive after being called out on it. Not even asking how you'd feel playing a game where his character has your wife's name. I'm not a gamer, but that sounds disrespectful to me. Your wife's a real person, whom he knows as your wife. The character is whatever he wants it to be. So he chose for it to be your wife, and he's doing everything to justify it like a weirdo. Your concern with his naming was totally reasonable. He's the one who should apologize. Edit. And what does your wife think of all of this anyway? If nothing weird was going on, this is how the exchange would have gone. Why'd you name your character after my wife? It makes me a bit uncomfortable. Him. I picked it 'cause less than insert reason without really thinking it through. I can see why it makes you uncomfortable though. I'll pick something else. Cool, thanks mate. You lost your friend 'cause he was a weirdo, not 'cause you were rude to him. Okay. I am unsure if I understand. Like, even if it was a name on a list of recommended. At the point I knew someone with the same name, I wouldn't want to continue playing with that character's name around them. It's weird. I would absolutely never name a new character in a game the same name as my best friend's wife. That is a bit what the fuck to me. I don't think someone gets to be defensive about that kind of thing. Like, I understand you like and miss the guy, but at this stage, nah. He is being a dick to even want to continue making characters using your wife's name. Dude, why'd you name your character after my wife? Oh shit man, I use that name often in campaigns. I'll change it this time since it makes you uncomfortable. Imagine how easy that is. He didn't care about your comfort in a discussion about using your wife's name as a character. He named a character after your wife in a game where you can fuck not only a bear but a mind flayer. I'd be mad, my man.